be paid. So whereas we were trying to sieve and remove the chaff, we were also afflicting some pain on those who were genuinely owed. So we couldn't have kept our report going forever and ever. And like he said, under Section 29 of the Audit Service Act, auditees are provided audit observations. And the law says you have 30 days to respond. We even extended it. I told them, hold on, let's give additional 30. So it became 60 days. Even after the 60 days, those who came, whilst we have not finished our report, we still took their responses into consideration. So audit is not as if what we do in refereeing in football, where the referee just says, you are at fault. In our case, when we say you are at fault, we ask you, what is your view about this? Prove us wrong, that you are not at fault. So as you heard him speak, it was a lot of back and forward response. And so some people think it's just a matter of the audit service coming in and say, you are owing this, we disallow this, we are not allowing that. Way forward, if you read the report, you will have seen that I've activated my constitutional authority under Article 187, Clause 7B. By activation of that clause, what I mean is I've disallowed all expenditures that were labeled rejected in the report. And according to Clause 9 of Article 187, before those payments can be done, it means it must go to the High Court for the High Court to turn my decision. And I've sounded a warning in the report that whoever authorized the payment, whoever effect the payment, and whoever received the payment, they are all candidates of surcharge. If anybody authorized, you will receive the certificate. If they authorize and you agree to pay, you will get a copy of the certificate. And the one who receives the money will equally receive the certificate. So let's be mindful of that. That's why we gave guidance that the Constitution says when you are aggrieved by the disallowance, go to the High Court and appeal against us, and that is fine. And let me also advise that that is the way forward of our audits now going. We are not going to finish our audits and wait for the TV show at public accounts anymore. When we finish our audits, we raise observation against you, and you decide to ignore it, we will disallow the expenditure and surcharge you. And I've told my colleagues that beginning this year, we must have to apply the law. We have so much powers under the law, and we have allowed it to sleep. We have slept over it. Because under Section 29, subsection 2, it says that anyone who does not even meet the 30 days deadline, what should we do? We should stop his salary. It is in the law. That once we raise an observation, after 30 days you decide not to respond, you should not be paid. And we have to start that now. We have to block people's salary. And even after blocking your salary, if you don't come, we will not disallow the expenditure and surcharge you. Why am I saying this? The first regulation, the Financial Administration Decree regulation, the first regulation is to make records available in the course of audit and in case the Minister of Finance needs it or the Accountant General needs it. So anyone who is managing or keeping public funds has a statutory duty to keep the records. We cannot find it is not an excuse. We cannot find it. And some boldly write it as if it's a justification. They'll tell you, yes, we spend the money, but we cannot find it. So we are pleading that public servants should bear with us. We are not against those who are doing their work genuinely, and they have their records. But I plead that if you are doing your work genuinely, keep records. Because financial management is not about trust. It's about what? Evidence. You must provide evidence. I can't just tell you that your 20,000 that you gave me, I spent it in your interest, trust me. No. I must give you evidence that this is how I used it, and that is in your interest. So that is one of the points I would like to drive home. Going forward in our report, we have recommended to government, and we think the government will take us serious, we think internal auditing is too weak in the public service. We have actually recommended in our document or report that there is the need to review the Audit Service Act, it's Internal Audit Act, and make sure that all internal auditors, we think, should belong to the agency, so to make them independent of the spending officers who they police. Otherwise, they will continue bullying them. In fact, hardly do a week pass by that an internal auditor will not come to my office and say we want to belong to audit service instead of internal audit. And say, why? You may think it's because of money. No. The reason is usually we are professionally being abused. When you give professional advice, they ask you, are you part of us or you are against us? Okay, if that is what you think, then we will transfer you to Bolga or to Kumasi so that we bring that one. He is a team player. So go and change your report. And people don't like this, so they would like to leave. And I think there is a need for bringing all internal auditors under the agency, so they are independent of the chief director or the director who is policing. So he can independently express opinion or reject payments. And I think with that, we will take our internal audit a bit more serious. So I would like to think that government will do that. Now, if you read the executive summary, we have also urged the government to go forward with our report to ensure that the infractions are addressed. If anyone has made payment for government debt and deliberately submit the claim again for payment, that's fraudulent, in my personal view. And we are urging the Attorney General, the YOCO, or those with prosecutory authorities to take up this, our report, and we will cooperate fully with them by giving them the evidence we have so that we go forward, because we have to stop this behavior now. I don't think there is a better time to do this than now. And finally, let me also say that I admit that we auditors or the Ghana Audit Service, we are human beings and we can err. Notwithstanding all the evidence that we have gathered, there may be another evidence which was not brought forward during the course of our audit. If you are so aggrieved, I encourage you, go to the High Court, pray the court to overturn my decision, and your money will be paid to you. And we are ready to meet you in court with the evidence that we have. Thank you very much.